Hi there, I'm Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, your host for the Night Sky this week. It's November 21st, 2022. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are around the world. And I'm broadcasting from Montreal, Canada, and I'm looking out the window. It is winter. Winter has arrived here in Montreal. Fierce and furious. It's like minus 9 degrees Celsius with wind chill plus on top of that. And we've got, I'd say maybe about 15 centimeters, 6 inches of snow on the ground where I am. Yeah, it is here for sure. But I'm still doing stargazing. I'm still going out in the evening. I know I go out and I know some of you might be thinking, wow, you guys, you're nuts. No, I just love stargazing. I love to go out, and even if it's just for 5-10 minutes or 20 minutes, I go walk my dog at night, and I just keep looking at the skies and seeing stuff. I don't know. Did you guys hear about the giant meteor that 1 meter size boulder that screamed through Ontario, Canada? It got captured by some photographs too. Even there's some amazing photographs above the Toronto skyline. It was just really impressive. Even had a sonic boom associated with it, according to some witnesses. So this is really interesting. What sets this apart is that astronomers were able to actually detect this meteor a few hours before it entered the atmosphere of the Earth. So this bodes well in terms of our abilities are getting better in detecting them. A few hours is not enough, but at least now we're kind of getting the ability to catch these before they do enter the atmosphere. Because if you go back just a few years ago, back to 2013, when there was that big event in Siberia, you may remember that big dump truck sized meteor that screamed through the atmosphere, created a air blast that caused over 1,000 people to be hurt. Lots of windows being shattered in a small town in Siberia that was just underneath that air blast of that meteor that happened in the upper atmosphere. We only found out about that meteor when it entered the atmosphere. So we're trying to get better at it. This was much smaller than that particular the 2013 event, but still it's something noteworthy. I will put a link to that in the chat after the show, so just stay tuned for that. And I'd love to hear where you're watching from, so just chime in. Let's jump into the planetarium program right away. And here we are. We've got the sky set up for November 21st after nightfall. Uh, Two noteworthy objects that you'll note right away are our friends, the planets, which we've been watching for a number of weeks. If you've been tuning into my show and watching, these guys have been just, real steady uh, evening mates for us. If you're going outside in the evening, Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is much brighter than Saturn, but these two gas giant planets, the largest planets in our solar system, are really wonderfully positioned right now in our evening skies. And so this is just after sunset, and they're kind of wedged in between is the constellation Aquarius, the water bearer. That's kind of right in between the two. Jupiter is in the constellation Pisces, you can see right here, while Saturn is in Capricornus, the sea goat right there. So the fishes and sea goat, this is all, and then you can see there's Cetus the whale there. So Pisces Austrinus is down here. This is telling us all kind of watery constellations. So that is the section of the sky that's filled with all these water-centric patterns, stellar patterns that have been created by ancient Greeks and Romans there. What's really interesting also to see, this week, the moon is out of the sky. It's a moonless sky, basically, where we have a new moon on Wednesday. So right now it's a great time to look for constellations because the glare from the moon won't interfere with your views. So highly recommend going out and doing stargazing, real stargazing, learning constellations, drawing out the figures of constellations. And one of those that you could try is look for Jupiter in the southeast as darkness falls. And I'm just going to go a little bit darker, a couple of hours after local sunset. And what you're going to notice here is that bright, brilliant Jupiter. You'll know it's Jupiter because there's a fainter yellow star to its right. That's Saturn. But if you look above Jupiter, you will notice that there is very close to Jupiter is that giant square pattern of stars. That's actually called the Great Square of Pegasus. And it's or sometimes referred to as a diamond, depending on what angle you're looking at and where you are on the globe. But it's very evident, even if you are in light polluted cities, this is something that you can look for. And this is something I think beginners can check out for themselves. So if you are a beginner, this is a good guidepost. This time of the year in the fall, this constellation Pegasus, the flying horse, is really dominating the sky. There's not many bright star-like objects this time of the year in the fall. We're actually, if you look at this part of the sky, you're looking out of the Milky Way, out of our home galaxy, into the cosmos, into the universe at large. And this is a great place to look for, obviously, other galaxies as well. So there are this is a hunting ground for folks that do have larger telescopes. A really good one you can see here is Andromeda, M31 right there. What does it look like? Here's a really good photograph of Andromeda Galaxy. So something that you can use binoculars to look. It's an oval patch, very faint to the naked eye. If you live in a dark site, maybe away from the city, at least a half hour, 45 minutes outside of the city, you may try to look for that faint fuzzy patch. You can see in this projection in my planetarium program, that oval fuzziness. That is what you're looking for. And through binoculars, it'll look a little bit brighter like that. And it does have companions. You see that there's two smaller ovals here marked, M110 and M32. Those are satellite galaxies that actually orbit this main big spiral galaxy called the Great Andromeda Galaxy. And by the way, we're looking 2.6 million light years away when we're looking towards this part of the sky right here. 2.6 million years is the distance of the Andromeda Galaxy to us. And we think it contains over 1 trillion stars. Imagine, 1 trillion. It's about 3 times bigger, probably, than our own Milky Way galaxy. So that is the kind of stuff that you can see. And there's other galaxies too. There's, you can see here, Pinwheel Galaxy, for instance. Another beautiful galaxy. It's fainter. It's harder to see. This one is about 5.7 magnitude. So again, beyond the naked eye. I would say binoculars definitely, and telescopes would work as well, obviously. And this is about 2.8 million light years away. What does it look like? Check this. It's a face-on spiral. And what do I mean by face-on? Check this out. That's a face-on spiral. So what you're seeing is looking at a spiral galaxy as if you were above the plane of the galaxy. And there, 2.8 million light years away. It's, look at that. You see the spiral? I'm marking them out here. There's another one. Here's another spiral arm, all these spiral arms, and star-forming regions, little star factories, nebulae. Here's one. Here's another one. Look at, they're all scattered. You see these red lights there? They're all little nebulae, like the Orion Nebula, you might know, for instance. This is in this particular other galaxy. It's its own versions of Orion Nebula that are scattered about in this galaxy in its own spiral arms. Isn't that amazing? Just beautiful stuff. So that's called the Pinwheel Galaxy. And again, all of this is around this place called the Great Square of Pegasus and the Andromeda constellation right there, and its namesake, galaxy called the Great Andromeda Galaxy. So all of that's there. I mean, it's really, really cool to go around in that part of the sky. But what I wanted to just quickly focus on this week, one last thing, and I want you to, again, take advantage of the fact that there's no moon in the sky. Wait until later into the night, and you'll notice that there'll be a beautiful orange-colored star-like object. You can't miss it. It's very bright, and it's an orange-colored star, but in fact, it's planet Mars. Mars was heading into opposition in a few weeks' time. And so what does that mean? That means it's going to be the biggest and brightest in Earth skies for the entire year of 2022. This is going to be the best time to look at Mars. So if you have a telescope, this is a great time to bring it out and see Mars. It's getting a little bit bigger in the telescope over the next few weeks, so you can start watching it now. And I just wanted to show where that is in the sky so you're ready for that opposition date in the next few weeks. So I'll be talking more about that, so stay tuned to Mars opposition observing. But it's rising in the east. There's Mars. And what you'll notice is that there's two other bright orange-like stars, but not quite as bright as Mars itself. One star is called Capella. It'll be off to the left of Mars. And then the other one is called Aldebaran. Aldebaran is this orange star, and it'll be on the other side of Mars. So Mars is sandwiched between these two, and it forms kind of a weird triangular shape. So I want you to look for these tonight or any time this week, because there's no moon in the sky, so it's a really good time to check this out. Learn the Taurus constellation. You see, there's Taurus the bull, and Taurus is represented by this bright orange star called Aldebaran. Now, a really great way to find Aldebaran, let me move the sky until a little bit later. Now it's around like 9 o'clock at night here, p.m. I'm in Montreal, so it's totally dark. The sky gets dark by 5 o'clock totally here, very early this time of the year. And so by 9 o'clock, it is really, really dark. It's well into the night. And one way you can find Aldebaran very easily is use the 3 stars of the belt of Orion. Orion is a very prominent constellation. It's one of those things that are, even people who are casual sky watchers, don't do it very often, can see these 3 stars very easily. And it's just very eye-catching. And so that's what you're looking at here is the 3 stars right here. I'm marking it out. I'm zooming in on them right there. And if you draw kind of a line through these 3 stars in the belt of Orion and just go up in the sky, just go up, 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 up. And it's kind of lopsided. Draw an arc, kind of like an arc line. Imagine, and the next brightest star that you hit above the 3 belt stars is, in fact, Aldebaran. It's a bright orange star. And that marks the eye of the bull, the celestial bull, right there. Now, what's really interesting is that the face of the bull is marked by a cluster of stars, a cluster that's in the shape of a V. And one side of the V is marked by Aldebaran. And you can draw it out here. I know the names are kind of in there. Let me see if I can turn off the star names very quickly. Let's see if I can do that. There. And so you see this V shape there, right there. There, I'm marking it out. It's like this lopsided V-shape pattern of stars. This is called the Hyades. You see it marked there, Hyades. Hyades is actually a physically associated group. All these stars that mark out the V are actually part of the same group of stars that were born together millions of years ago. And it is considered one of the closest clusters of stars to the Earth. In fact, it's about 175 light years away. It's very close, considering. And this is kind of this, they're also, so they were all born from the same cloud of gas millions of years ago, and they're slowly wandering away from each other, these stars. Now, what's interesting is Aldebaran, which marks one of the ends of the V, is actually not part of the Hyades cluster. It just happens to be in the foreground. And it's just a coincidence that it's marking the side there. It's a visual pattern that the human eye makes. But Aldebaran is an orange giant star. It's a dying star, and it's about 66 light years away. So imagine that. You're looking at a star, the light left on its journey 66 years ago. Just something cool to think about when you're looking up at the sky tonight from your backyard or your front porch, or maybe through your bedroom window, if that's the way you do your sky watching. It can be done, and it's visible even within city limits. Aldebaran is a bright star marking the eye of the celestial bull Taurus for us. And then we have this wonderful Hyades group behind it. Now, another really interesting thing that you can watch is if we would take that line again from the belt of Orion, that line, imaginary line, you go up through Aldebaran, right? And then you continue going up. You'll hit a fuzzy little patch of light that's in the kind of in the chest of Taurus the bull. Okay? That little fuzzy patch you can see with your eye, in naked eye, no binoculars to tell you. You can actually see it even from the suburb of a city. You can make it out. And this week's great again, no moon. So try it. This is the Pleiades star cluster. It's another one of those closer star clusters to Earth at 444 light years away. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks like a little cluster of shining diamonds in the sky. And it's something you can see with just your eye, nothing else. If you have binoculars, it gets more interesting. And a telescope, it's even more spectacular, obviously, because you can zoom in. And this is kind of what you'd see. With binoculars, this is kind of the field of view that you can see on the screen, the entire screen. And then with a telescope, you can actually zoom into about like that. Now, you see all this blue shading around here, the blue kind of light, ghostly light around it. That's actually we think now, a cloud that's in between us and the cluster. And it's kind of hazing our view up, clouding our view up of those individual stars. But these are stars that were born about 100 million years ago. That sounds like a long time, but compare that to our own sun at 5 billion years old. 100 million is still a youngster. These are young stars, and they will wander away from each other eventually. They were all born in the same gas cloud 100 million years ago, just like our sun was with other stars. But eventually, these stars wander away as they grow older. So it really is. Murajan is asking, when we are looking at stars, are we looking at the future and the past at the same time? That's a great question. We're actually looking back in the past, Murajan. We're looking at what the stars looked like back in time, because it takes so long for light to take its journey that it really, that light journey takes time. Even at the speed of 186,000 miles per second, which is about 300,000 kilometers per second. That's the speed of a beam of light. And once it leaves the star, it takes time to get there. And we measured them in light years. And so 1 light year, just to give you an idea, is equal to about approximately 10 trillion kilometers. So it doesn't make sense for us to use kilometers in terms of distances when we're talking about astronomy. because things are just so far away. So we use the term light year. So the distance that light travels in 1 year is about 10 trillion kilometers. So instead of using kilometers, we use the term light year. And for instance, the Pleiades is 440 light years away. So really, really interesting. Hello, Sean from Trinidad. So nice of you to join us on this live stream. So there you are. I mean, that is something you should really look at with a telescope, binoculars, or just the naked eye and spot it. I'll put a sky chart on this after the stream so you guys can look at that. And this is for this week. Of course, if you guys want another challenge, another little challenge is looking at the planet Uranus right here. It just underwent a few weeks ago opposition, meaning it was the biggest and brightest to Earth. It was the closest to our planet. And yet it still looks like a tiny little green dot, even through binoculars. They're easily visible through binoculars if you know where to look. And it's kind of a tricky situation if there's no moon, other guidepost around. But there it is. It's just underneath Aries and behind Taurus, the bull. So, but Pleiades, go for it. Look at the Hyades cluster with Aldebaran. Really, really cool. Go for that as well, using Orion's belt. This is what we call star hopping. This is really the technique that I recommend people use in navigating across the night sky. And it's something that'll serve you for the rest of your life. And it's something you can teach youngsters how to do. And it's wonderful. I mean, it's great to have a telescope with all the gadgets, right? Using your smartphone and pointing to the sky and finding things. But if you know how to find things yourself, that's part of the fun. That's part of the excitement and the gratification that you have in tracking things down, that excitement of actually finding the Pleiades star cluster just by using the night sky as a roadmap. And by the way, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, of course, I've got my newest book, this big, giant mega book. It's 6.5 pounds. It is called Stargazer's Atlas, published by National Geographic. So you know it's going to be filled with great pictures. I have it on sale on my website. Signed, dedicated copies, maybe making a great holiday gift. I have a few more copies left, so grab yours and I will sign and dedicate it just for you and send it off for you wherever you are. I ship internationally, of course. It's 6.5 pounds, so you can imagine the shipping is considerable, but I really want to thank everyone's support. I've almost sold out on my existing stock, and so if you're interested, this is really it. And it's filled with star maps for both North and Southern Hemisphere. All 88 constellations are done. Star hopping is covered, astrotourism, all kinds of really neat stuff. So grab your copy if you like, and I'll give a link of that on my website after the live stream. And one more thing, I'm really excited because you see, where is it? There, this book. I've also now finally have my other best-selling book. Finally, I have it on sale on my website. Signed, dedicated copies I have for sale. This is basically a pocket version of a night sky guide that you can take out in your backpack or travel with. It has all the sky charts and constellations, again, covered, star hopping, how to use and choose telescopes and binoculars, projects to do with your kids with the night sky, and it covers mythology and science about the night sky completely. So I have that on my website. Finally, I'm so excited that I can finally offer that. Here are the links. I'm going to put them right in actually right now, so you guys have it. That's for the Stargazer's Atlas, the big giant 6.5 pound book is on there. And let me see if I have it. I can show you. There's my front page with my mug. And then here is my backyard guide right there. I'm going to put the link in for that as well. And that is available for sale for signed dedicated editions. And right under there is a little bit about what the book is all about, a little peek into what inside the book, and there is the link as well to purchase the book. So with that, I want to thank you so much for joining me for today's live stream. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, I'd love to do more. Please show your support by subscribing to my channel, whether it's YouTube, Twitter or Facebook that you're watching, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're going to have some clear skies this week. I see all of you guys there. That's fantastic. Thanks for your support. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, clear skies. Bye-bye.